In a blistering takedown that has set the entertainment world ablaze, comedian John Oliver didn't hold back during his guest spot on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, savagely calling out Meghan Markle for what he described as her blatant hypocrisy. Appearing on the show just last week, Oliver dissected the Duchess of Sussex's public persona with razor-sharp wit, accusing her of bluffing her way through a life of privilege while preaching about privacy and victimhood. "What a hypocrite," Oliver declared to a roaring audience, exposing what many see as the cracks in Markle's carefully curated image, a moment that has reignited fierce debates about her authenticity and motives since stepping away from royal duties. Oliver's critique wasn't pulled from thin air, it built on years of observed inconsistencies in Markle's behavior, starting from her pre-royal days as an actress on Suits to her current role as a self-proclaimed advocate for mental health and women's rights. He pointed out how Markle, who has repeatedly lamented the invasive scrutiny of the media, has nonetheless leveraged that very attention for lucrative deals, including multi-million-dollar contracts with Netflix and Spotify. "She's out there complaining about the tabloids while posing for them," Oliver quipped, referencing her recent Netflix series with Love, Meghan, where she shares intimate glimpses into her Montecito lifestyle, complete with cooking segments and guest appearances that critics argue are nothing more than veiled PR stunts. This, Oliver argued, is the epitome of having it both ways, decrying exploitation while profiting from it handsomely. Delving deeper, Oliver highlighted Markle's history of what he called selective transparency. He recalled her bombshell 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey, where she detailed the emotional toll of royal life, including allegations of racism within the family and suicidal thoughts. While acknowledging the gravity of those claims, Oliver questioned why Markle has since turned her experiences into a media empire, including the docuseries Harry Meghan that aired on Netflix in 2022. "If privacy is so sacred, why broadcast every grievance to the world?" he asked Colbert, who nodded in agreement amid audience applause. Oliver substantiated his point by noting how Markle's Archewell Foundation, ostensibly focused on charitable causes, has been criticized for low output relative to its high-profile announcements, raising eyebrows about whether her activism is genuine or merely a brand extension. The comedian didn't stop at her media ventures, he zeroed in on Markle's fashion and lifestyle choices as further evidence of hypocrisy. Oliver mocked her for promoting sustainable living while jetting around in private planes, citing reports from environmental watchdogs that the Sussexes' travel habits contribute significantly to carbon emissions. "She lectures us on climate change from the back of a Gulfstream," he said, drawing laughs but also underscoring a serious disconnect. This aligns with broader criticisms from figures like British journalist Julia Hartley-Brewer, who recently lambasted Markle for similar inconsistencies after the launch of her Netflix show's second season. Oliver tied this back to Markle's royal exit, arguing that her Megxit narrative of escaping a toxic institution rings hollow when she continues to use her Duchess title for commercial gain. Such as in her American Riviera Orchard brand, which sells high-end jams and wines to an elite clientele. Oliver's monologue also touched on Markle's interpersonal dynamics, painting her as someone who demands loyalty but discards relationships when they no longer serve her. He referenced anonymous accounts from former staffers, detailed in various investigative reports, who described a demanding work environment at Archewell, with high turnover rates suggesting a pattern of behavior that contradicts her public advocacy for kindness and compassion. Bullying allegations from palace aides, now echoed in California. "It's not the institutions, it's the pattern," Oliver stated flatly. This validation came with a nod to the 2021 Buckingham Palace investigation into those claims, which, though never fully publicized, fueled ongoing speculation. Colbert chimed in, recalling his own past jabs at the royals, but Oliver steered the conversation back to Markle, insisting her actions speak louder than her words. Financial discrepancies formed another pillar of Oliver's attack, where he accused Markle of bluffing about her independence. Despite claims of financial self-sufficiency post-royals, Oliver pointed out the couple's reliance on Prince Charles's, now King Charles III, funding during their transition, as admitted in their Oprah interview. "They cut ties but kept the wallet open," he joked, but the underlying point was serious. Markle's narrative of empowerment through hard work ignores the privileges that enabled her ascent. He compared this to other celebrities who built empires from scratch, implying Markle's success is more inherited than earned. This critique resonates with data from financial analysts who estimate the Sussexes' net worth at over $60 million, much of it tied to royal branding rather than original content creation. Shifting to her feminist credentials, Oliver called out what he saw as performative activism. Markle has positioned herself as a champion for women's rights, guest editing British Vogue in 2019 and speaking at UN events. Yet, Oliver argued, her silence on certain global issues, like the treatment of women in countries where her husband has business ties, exposes selective outrage. She'll call out the British press but stays mum on real tyrannies, he said, referencing Prince Harry's controversial associations with figures in Saudi Arabia amid human rights concern.